Hi YouTube, it's me again. My name is Lola or Lola. If it's your first time here, hello. If it's not your first time, welcome back. I'm glad you're here again. So I hope you've had a lovely week. My last video was about Christianity, but sometimes I like to talk about other things just so that my channel is about a range of different topics, not just the first one. So a few weeks ago I talked about signs perfectionism is hindering your language progress, and I was talking about Spanish. I was kind of referencing other things as well, other languages. It's not just Spanish, it's about basically any single language in the world. But yeah, we're just gonna continue after the introduction. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys have a lovely time watching. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As I mentioned before the introduction, this topic will be signs perfectionism is affecting your language progress, part 2. So as I said before, I'm on a creative break from Spanish because I have other creative pursuits. So it's kind of interesting that I'm doing this, but this is kind of I've applied this before the break, and when I come back to Spanish, I'm not giving it up, I'm just taking a bit of a hiatus to focus on other things. And yeah, so when I go back to it, obviously I'm going to apply these to my own journey. And I'm a self-taught Spanish learner. I've been learning Spanish since, I would say properly, since 2024 whenever I went to Mexico. I think it's 2024. Yeah, 2024 when I came back from Mexico. And yeah, I've been consistent, but now that I'm working, it is a bit harder. But obviously maybe next year, January or even December, when I have got time, when I finish what I'm doing creatively, I will go back to it and I'll apply these topics. So last time, I'm going to link it below. I'm going to link it below, and I'm going to link it in the introduction. Last time I talked about this topic, I mentioned 3 ways that perfectionism is preventing your language learning. Number 1 was you view errors as failure. Number 2 was you're scared to step out of your comfort zone, and 3 is procrastination. I don't want to delve into that. You can watch the first video on that, but I did want to do a continuation because I had 5 points but only really mentioned 3. So the fourth, well, it's number 1 but number 4 in a way. So the fourth reason or fourth sign that perfectionism is preventing your language learning is you wait till you're perfect to speak. Well, yeah, it's kind of obvious because that's kind of like in the word perfectionism. And I heard someone say the other day on Saturday, she said practice makes perfect, but she doesn't like the word perfect because no one is perfect, nothing is perfect. She likes to say practice makes better, and I like that as well, because the word perfect, I feel like it's something you can't really achieve in life. No one's perfect, nothing is perfect, no one has a perfect life, no one ever will. So that word perfect is just non-existent. It shouldn't really exist. But if we keep practicing, eventually you'll get better at what you do. Eventually, one day you'll be able to speak as if Spanish or whatever language you're learning is second nature to you. So yeah, so you shouldn't wait until you're perfect to speak, because then you will never speak. So if it takes you 2 years, 3 years to learn Spanish and you never really speak, then you're not really learning Spanish. Speaking is part of it. Speaking is part of the process. You've got speaking, you've got listening, you've got reading, you've got writing. Sometimes I can't lie, because speaking takes so much energy out of you or me, especially when I'm tired or when I've had a long day. Sometimes I don't speak on purpose, or I only focus on listening, reading and writing. I only really focus on those 3. But speaking I know it's harder, but honestly, because a lot of people are good at speaking but they can't do the rest. A lot of people can do the rest but they're not good at speaking, and I don't want to be like good at everything but speaking. I want to be able to do all four topics: speaking, listening, reading and writing. My writing is the strongest my reading is the strongest right now, and then it's my writing, and then I would say speaking, and then my listening is good. But then when people talk really, really fast, even in English, I guess, but it's not as bad because I was born into English. But with Spanish, when people speak really, really fast, it's hard for me to understand them. Like my Bible app is in Spanish, and when they're speaking like the voiceover, when they're speaking in Spanish, I can understand them, but not the first time. I have to keep repeating. So yeah, you shouldn't wait until you're perfect to speak Spanish, because perfection doesn't exist, and you're kind of hindering yourself because you think, oh, I'm not good enough to speak. I can speak it, but I'm not good enough to speak it. What if people think I'm not fluent enough? But I feel like especially when we're around native people or fluent people, we get really self-conscious about like our language skills. You know, like I can't speak Spanish or whatever language, but I'm just scared. What if they make a mess? What if I'm messy? What if I stutter? But you know what? Those people will appreciate you speaking, even if it's not fluent. Even if it's not fluent, because I appreciate when people try, not necessarily if they're perfect. Yeah, so you shouldn't wait until you're perfect, because you're hindering yourself and you keep thinking what if, and yeah, so speaking messily is part of the process. There's no growth without like a messy section. There's no growth without a messy stage. There's no growth without setbacks or hindrances. It's the same for everything, not just Spanish, like hair growth, or even for me, my handwriting. Like a lot of people have complimented me about my handwriting, but I know that to get to where it is now, it was very bad at some point. So there's no growth, there's no improvement without stumbling, there's no improvement without setbacks or mistakes. And yeah, so you should never ever wait until you're perfect to speak Spanish, because perfection doesn't exist and you're hindering yourself. That's waiting until you're perfect to do anything, really. And even when you're perfect, you might realize, I thought I was perfect, but then I'm not perfect. So it's kind of like postponing your skill, postponing your talent. So when I do go back to Spanish, I'm definitely gonna speak it as much as I can. A lot of people rely on language learning. Rely on language partners, and that's great. For me personally, I can't do language partners. I think it's because I'm the type of person who I've worked so well independently. Because I'm a really creative person. I don't like people, like I'm not gonna say I don't like people helping me. I love people helping me, but when it comes to like Spanish and stuff like that, I would rather achieve it by myself, because it's like so personal to me. I'd rather achieve it by myself, because then I actually think it'll be more impressive if I actually taught this by myself and said, I actually didn't have any language partners, it was solely my own effort. Because I've tried to find language partners in the years, I've tried communicating with people, and it just hasn't worked. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I haven't found the right person. But no, it's actually, no, I haven't. It's not that I haven't found the right person. It's that it's not my style of, it's not my style. You get what I mean? Especially as a self-taught learner, I have been teaching myself the language, and I don't want to rely on somebody else to kind of help me. I'm not saying it's wrong, but for me personally, as someone who thrives better independently, then obviously having a partner, it kind of hinders me in a way. But yeah, I kind of use ChatGPT to correct me. Obviously, not just ChatGPT, I use like other stuff to correct me. That's like my way of learning personally. I don't really have any language partners, but obviously I'm going to start reading and listening to more music, because I do want to be fluent by, I would say like 2026, 2027, like the end of 2026, like mid 2027. So yeah. The final sign that perfectionism is hindering the language learning is you're afraid of speaking. So it kind of links to wait until you're perfect. You're afraid of speaking. It's okay to be afraid of speaking. I'm afraid of speaking. I try sometimes when I'm studying Spanish on my bed and I'm trying to speak so eloquently or like really advanced, and I stumble. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm failing. But then I'm like, even in English, I wouldn't be able to produce essay-based speech without thinking about it first. So it is okay. It's okay if you're afraid of speaking, but you shouldn't let this kind of hinder you. And yeah, so I have a self-taught friend. I'm not going to mention her name, but she really inspires me. She took 2 years to learn the language, and every time I feel down, I always think about her, like waiting for me to be as fluent as her. I'm like, if she reached it one day, if she reached fluency in Spanish, even if it took her 2 years, then I definitely I can do the same thing. And yeah, so just think of all the people that you know who have taught themselves Spanish or are fluent in language, no matter how they learned the language. And yeah, that kind of boosts me up in a way, because I'm like, if they can do it, so can I. Sometimes it is easy to doubt yourself. I'm like, okay, they can do it, but can I do it? And I'm like, but I've also come so far compared to 2024 May, when I first, after my trip from Mexico to my home country, after my trip, I got back in June. Since then, like my Spanish has increased. I can now, like I said, I can now recognize all the tenses. Can I use them correctly? Absolutely not. I can, but I can't. I recognize them. I can't use it flawlessly. I can't use it perfectly, but I do recognize every single tense. Whereas last year, I only knew past, I only knew present tense. I hadn't really learned. I was still confused between indefinite and I was confused between indefinido, and oh my god, what is it? See, that's what I'm saying. I took a break and now I don't know anything. I was confused between imperfect and indefinite tense in Spanish, but now I understand when to use it. And so don't be afraid of speaking, and think of other people. It's not just Spanish, but anything in life. Think of people you look up to now. Think of people you admire. Maybe read up on them and maybe be like, it's easier to think, especially like, I don't know, like musical prodigies. It's easier to think, oh, they're perfect. They've always been successful. But if you actually read their story, even they mess up too. Even masters mess up. Even professionals mess up sometimes. It doesn't mean they're not professional. It's part of life. The master has failed more times than beginner has even tried. And I love that quote so much. So to become fluent in whatever language you're learning, you have to, for example, you cannot get to C2 without going through A1, A2, B1, B2, C1. You can't just jump to C2 because you need to have a strong foundation. You know what I mean? And it's okay to be afraid of speaking. It's part of the process. But like I said, you can't let that prevent you, especially if you're aiming high. You cannot let the fear of speaking prevent you. You should let it push you forward. Turn that fear into like fuel. Turn it into motivation. You should let it push you forward. And know that one day, if you keep trying, if you don't give up, one day you will achieve that language learning goal. Like I really want to be fluent in Spanish so that I can teach it to my future children. They can have Spanish as their native language or second language. I really want to teach it to my children because I wasn't able to learn it as a kid because I was really focused on English, but now I love Spanish. And I feel like now that when I go back to it, I'll appreciate it even more because I've taken time from it. And so you shouldn't be afraid of speaking. You shouldn't wait until you're perfect. You shouldn't procrastinate. You shouldn't view errors as failure, and you shouldn't stay within your comfort zone. If I stayed within my comfort zone, I wouldn't be aiming for C1 because I don't necessarily need it. I don't even speak C1 English unless I'm writing an essay, and I don't need to write essays anymore. So you can't stay within. I mean, it's not bad to stay within. It depends why you need a language in the first place. But if you know you can stretch further, if you know you can stretch higher, then trust me, the reward will be more rewarding. Well, look at my English. Oh my god. It will be so much more rewarding if you aim for higher and you actually achieve it, because I think that's really inspirational, especially if you're a self-taught learner. That's all I wanted to say. I don't know if I'm making sense. I never know if I make sense in my videos or anything, but hopefully you guys resonated with that. And this is the last part of Science Perfectionism is Hindering Your Language Progress. And thank you for watching. If you liked, please subscribe, leave a comment. I'm not obsessed with those stuff. I even stopped promoting my videos on social media because it wasn't working. I'd rather have it grow organically, even if it means later. I'm really practicing delayed gratification. Like towards the end of this year, I've been really practicing delayed gratification recently, and it's just been amazing. So thank you for watching my video. I hope it resonated with you. Good luck with your language journey, with your language learning, whatever language you're learning, maybe whether it's 1, 2, 3, all of them. Good luck. Hopefully one day you'll be as fluent as you want. For me personally, I changed my mindset from I want to be fluent to I want to be able to express complex ideas. That's just me personally. Everyone is different. So whatever method works for you, just keep going, don't give up, and think of your inspirations and how they got to where they are now. They got by being resilient, even if it was hard, even though the journey was hard. And you can do it too. I believe in you. And goodbye. Have a lovely day or night whenever you read this, whenever you watch this video. Bye.